I am good to go.
Alrighty. I want to hit that button.
Heck yeah. Gosh, I hope we're not listening to these out of order.
Huh.
Pick you up again, riding shotgun on the highway. You could be my girl like you said you want to someday. Look at you and I see the best we'd ever have, but yeah, I guess we'll never know it. But I still want to, like a view of my room, laying down a piece of you. Your eyes are never hiding me like you do. I can't believe you are mine. Oh.
I'm starting to really appreciate the overdubs.
And your voice, you
Yeah.
call, but now I can't hear a sound. A sound, and I surround in your eyes. Lips on mine, but oh, it's all in my dreams. Oh, it's all in my dreams. Tell me about it when you felt it. All the pain you feeling now it melted. With your hands on me, we can help it. It's more than a fling and you know it.
I really appreciate the vocal layering that Monii always does.
Yeah. It's like the first thing I want to bring attention to when we get to talk about it.
Your voice, you call, but now I can't hear a sound. A sound, and I surround in your eyes. Lips on mine, but oh, it's all in my dreams. Oh, it's all in my dreams. Think you're stuck in my eyes. Think I live in your dreams. Show me how to
No, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually the EP closer. I think we're going backwards.
Oops.
Do we want to go the I don't know how to rearrange these.
I mean, I think that having it's just this.
Just want to do it this way.
Yeah, I think it's best
Okay.
to we can just discuss the work. Obviously, the order is not necessarily benign, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
So you were mentioning the overdubs.
Yes. Yeah.
She seems to do a lot in that regard. That's something that I noticed in the diss track,
Mhm.
and obviously that particular moment was more kind of Mariah inspired. There seems to be a lot doing like to fill out like kind of the space that's around 8K up. She's using her voice for that, and the overdub specific
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, they're like a pad texture. I think that's I think a lot of times in the production you can fill that space with synthesized elements, but you can do it just as well with your voice, and you can get well. I think it's a much more personal, lush sound to do it with
Yeah.
a vocal layer, like vocal stacks,
Certainly.
than if you were to just do it with the synthesizer.
Yeah. There's
It's such a pretty song.
It is very pretty. I feel like this is one of those tunes where I'm going to need to pull up the lyrics, and we're going to have to take a second pass because it does seem
I'm so
lyrical
down.
driven.
Yes, I think that's true for all of these songs. That they're very
It's almost like
the
Monty
lyrics are
Bagel
very
is some sort of
important.
songwriter.
Yeah, of sorts, you
A
could
little
say.
bit, yeah. Let's see. I wonder where she has the lyrics.
That's a good question.
And she composed it as well.
Mhm.
We are going to have to possibly write these out, which I think would be worth the time, frankly.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second.
I wonder. Yeah, it seems like the lyrics for the previous single that she released, "Nostalgia Will Be the Death of Me," which is also from this EP. Those lyrics are on Genius, but it doesn't seem like
The lyrics are in the video, but the thing is that when it comes to, it helps to look at the whole thing. So, so I would like to write it out and then take a look at it because what
Mhm.
I think that is important in songwriting is the musical development that happens around lyricism. And it's difficult to judge what's going on when you don't have the lyrics in front of you kind of as a block. So let's take a moment to do this. So the first thing I noticed in the lyrics, something I've been paying attention to a lot more ever since the rapping is the way that the syllables communicate rhythm and how the rhythm communicates the idea. To pick you up again, riding shotgun on the highway. There's kind of like the rhythm to it is distinct to the rest of the song. So if we go back to the watch together.
Yeah, it was this one.
And Yanko John did it on the notepad.
Pick you up again, riding shotgun on the highway. You could be my girl like you said you want to someday. Look at you and I see the best we'd ever had, but yeah, I guess we'll never know it. But I still want to. Think of you in my room, laying down a piece of.
I love that this transition part. So I mean, we have like a really heavy rhythmically driving melody, and then in the transition we get like a really legato smooth kind of line.
Yeah, that juxtaposition.
Yeah, which allows the transition, which can sometimes kind of kill the momentum of a song. It allows the transition to kind of add a driving contrast.
You could be my girl like you said you want to someday. Look at you and I see the best we'd ever had, but yeah, I guess we'll never know it. But I still want to. Think of you in my room, laying down a piece of you.
And then this melodic idea gets a variation. So it's the same melodic idea that happened in the transition, but then we get this sort of melisma, this ascending melisma. And I love that. Is it? Does she say "love you"? It's in contrast to the idea of lying down, right? So when we get the melody for lying down, yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know if that's on purpose, but the idea of that, like, someone might be lying down, and then that gets you excited, right? So kind of a fun idea. Might be reading too much into it, but these are the things I like to think of before we actually talk to her on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The use of I and the I to start the thing on the left-right pan there is a lot of fun.
Yes.
That's a bold decision for a chorus. That's a real bold decision to just like rely on a singular word, right? You know what I mean? Like lyrically, the build-up, but
yeah. I guess maybe I'm not taken aback by it because that is pretty common in pop writing.
Doesn't have a lot of classical. Yeah.
Well, I think it's I know K-pop does this a lot as well, and then just more generally pop music where it's the chorus is kind of driven by this single focus idea, and it's not necessarily
but a single word
like that. That's not, the chorus isn't necessarily the place where the exposition is happening.
Sure.
Like that. Yeah. That's where you revel in the idea.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Monii being a K-pop writer, got it.
Yeah, I think undoubtedly there's going to be some overlap in what she does for her own stuff and what she does for In That World.
Tell me better when you felt it, all the pain you feeling now I'm melted, with your hands on me like you know it. It's more than a
fun wordplay.
There's also cool pandal drum elements to keep the energy up here in the second verse. It's also
Can you?
relatively common idea.
I don't quite hear it.
So there's this 4 on the floor kick, but then it'll be pan to your right and then pan to your left, and it kind of alternates in that way. But there's these rolling what sounds to me like almost orchestral toms that have their high end shaped to I guess sound a little bit more like snares, but there's just more rhythmic complexity here in this verse as compared to the first verse. So we're having that distinction while keeping the energy up.
Ah, okay.
And right there.
Yeah.
And it's not too much, but like just enough to set it apart.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, really short verses.
Yeah.
Which, nothing wrong with that. I often also write really short verses. Just kind of depends on how much I have to say.
Yeah.
Breaking out into the string part. Oh, it's so gorgeous. So good.
Dang. This next one, you had a hand in it.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to communicate? Is that the part you jumped to, or?
No. I didn't actually jump to anything. I'm not sure why that happened.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I had the honor of being involved in this project. All the vocal chopping and glitching stuff you hear in this song was my work, which is really, really exciting. I'm so honored to be a part of it.
Now, how did Monii Bagel hear about your work?
Well, the truth is that back at some point last year, I did a remix of one of her songs and I sent it to her, and that's when she first heard of my work. And we didn't have a chance to collaborate back at that point, but I think it like she made it very clear, and I'm just still so crazy that she was a fan of what I did, and that she would consider me for future projects that needed that kind of direction, with like the vocal chopping and the vocal glitching, and yeah, I'm just really fortunate that she sought me out for this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So the sound design is a lot of like this stuff.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of Evanescence to me. Maybe like a touch of Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, but that could just be the voice cuts. Love the use of voice cracks. She was actually doing quite a lot interesting with her voice. So the delivery is like really intentionally lacking the delivery on consonants, which is a kind of an idea that we discussed previously when we reacted to a tune of hers. But then the use of aspirates to add rhythmic elements to a word like way, which, you know, is just a bunch of vowels. So there is no consonants. So they add an aspirate there. Vocal fry on voice count there. So that adds kind of an attack on that. And then use of a crack and an aspirate to give, again, more rhythmic emphasis.
Just a moment, I think I'll regret it. Straight to
Ah,
the nice. I
nice.
think I'll forget it. Glaze eyes can see forever. If I guess on my side, I'm confused if I've been misled. It was harmless until it wasn't. Oh, you don't know. Just one more time. Just one more time. On top of the world when I'm high.
So this is like, goes back to, in a lot of lessons, I talk about like playing with vowels, right? How many, like high is a diphthong, right? It's 2.
Yes.
Right? Count how many vowels high has now. Like, I.
Well, you know what's funny about that is that really worked to my benefit, because one of the I mean, the way that I do my vocal chops is I'll take the acapella and I'll listen through and I'll find different unique vowel positions that are being moved through, and those kind of become the colors that I paint with when I'm like assembling whatever the passage is going to be. So it was super useful actually to have all of those different vowels for high to move through, because it allowed me to have a lot of variety and keep it interesting to listen to. Because otherwise, if it's just a single vowel or 2 vowels, you can only really alternate between those 2.
Yeah.
If you're pulling from that particular word, yeah. So it was actually definitely worked to the benefit of what I was able to do.
Nice. What are these reverses? Do you know off the top of your head?
So those were I never heard those isolated. I just heard the main vocal for this part and what I was sent to work with. I think those are I wonder if they are reversed in the harmonies,
Like
or if that's something that's in the instrumental. I don't remember off the top of my head.
There's cool sound design all over the place. Damn, dude, this is you?
Yeah.
Shit. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
That is really sick.
It was so much fun to work on. I definitely it was such a cool experience, because while there were constraints in terms of there were specific parts where Monii wanted me to to work on things for. She also gave me no real direction for some of these other parts. So like the stuff at the end, like what you heard at the end there, and then the chop in the bridge, I had kind of full creative liberty over, and fortunately I was able to make something that she also vibed with, which is always the goal, right?
Yeah.
You always want to knock it out of the park on your first try.
Yeah, absolutely. Damn, dude. So this is why I gotta I have in mind spending some time listening to her karaoke. She did a karaoke stream recently.
Hmm.
I wanted to listen to that because hearing things through the post production in terms of like vocal delivery can be very challenging for me. I'm just not used to hearing it. And this belt is really, really interesting, but obviously there's a lot of post processing on it. So,
Yeah, it's very distorted.
Yeah.
I think that was very intentional for the
Of course.
vocal production on this song,
Of course,
for
yeah.
it to be, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely
aggressive like that.
intentional. Yeah, it's not like I don't hear that and be like, someone missed that. Oh, that should have been triage. No, like it's obviously it's there on purpose. But yeah, this is cool.
Fell out of love and you broke, crying on my shoulder. All I could do was hold her, only made us closer until July. I know that you love me, you don't need to remind me. I should put it all behind me, shouldn't I? But I see her in the back of my mind all the time.
She really, really loves words. So like delivery, when I think of singing, I think of things like in a skill set. And like delivery is and like language are part of that skill set. And you know, there's all these tools that you can use to deliver a point. It could be melody, it could be harmony, timbre, etc. But language is certainly available to singers in a way that's not to instrumentalists. And this is like she's using words.
Yeah.
In a way that's like so nuanced in terms of the delivery. I could discuss the technique of it, but it's kind of not the point.
I know that you love me, you don't need to remind me. You put it all behind me. I see her in the back of my mind all the time. Like a fever, like I'm burning alive, like a sign. Did I cross the line? Valentine's Day, crying in the hotel.
There's just so many, like there's so many opportunities where she could sustain a vowel to like highlight her tone, to highlight a musical idea, and then but then almost every time, instead of making those decisions, she'll make a decision to highlight like the word's clarity or its meaning for her. Like there's a lot of decisions that are it's so attentive to detail that the performance ends up having a lot of specificity, which is to me always the mark of a good performance or a good piece of work, is that there's a tremendous amount of detail moment to moment that is unique and not like a pattern that's necessarily recognizable aside from the pattern of like the words and the meaning of the words and the language. You know, there's a lot more depth to be had in terms of what love might mean to the performer than delivering some sort of stock connotation or musical idea when using that word, for example. So that this is kind of coming across in a karaoke, it gives me a little bit more of an idea of what I want to kind of listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to let's go back to watching the next piece. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go reverse order escapades.
Fighting a war
this is what I mean. So look at the vowel, or listen to the general vowel choices.
Mhm.
And luckily, because you could probably identify the frequencies, but she's going to lift up her palate a little bit and go gentle on adore. You can imagine why that specific lyric is going to be different than the words leading up to it. You have more pursed lips and a domed soft palate, right?
And the door is wider, yeah.
Yeah. So lifted soft palate, which gives you a brighter tone. And so that contrast of adore with war is, I believe the word is dope, is the technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's crazy, okay, so like that's the type of detail, because I know the last time we reacted and we did a little bit of critical listening, I was pointing out stuff that you said that you wouldn't pick up on, and you're pointing out stuff now to me that I wouldn't have picked up on, which is really cool. I think undoubtedly subconsciously, the effect is there, but to point it out is really cool.
Yeah, and it could very well be the case that this isn't like a decision that she's making technically, right? Because I don't think she's driven, and I could be wrong. We'll get to find out Tuesday. I don't think she's driven in that way as an artist. I think she just has like a lot of emotional attachment to words, which would make sense for someone who's a songwriter. So
Yeah.
Anyway. And again, the use of the edge, right? A little, like almost like a brighter tone to give the vowel itself an edge. Also, damn, I do love when people exaggerate their diphthongs. Or like just
Yeah, such a unique approach to the word your.
Yeah. Actually, I could imagine. So someone said that. Did Numi and Monii sing together at some point? Because I can imagine easily that these tones would blend nicely together. Would sound or could sound? I don't know. Either way, let me point out the distinction. Oh, they've been on each other's album. Good. Let me point out the distinction though. So the difference here is that, from what I understand, Numi has one fold that has paralysis, which results in a breathier tone. I mean, that may not be true. I haven't confirmed that. This is what I've been reading. But regardless, Numi has a breathier tone because of a lack of vocal closure. Monii brings more false fold adduction, which ends up kind of sounding like this. It's just a little bit, just a tiny bit, and then brings also breathiness in. Kind of a little different. So Monii's getting a bit of gruff to the tone. And then she's doming her soft palate and purses her lips on, which gives a darker tone quality than what Numi would get. So like, just because there's an element of breathiness doesn't mean, like, it's like there's still a lot of distinguishing things between the two as singers, but those similar qualities as well as those slight differences would allow them to blend really well together. Just a little, like, I guess a fun fact there, but let's get back to the EP music.
Numi is on this song, by the way. That's what the chat is.
Ah, okay.
Screaming at the top of their lungs.
Literally, yeah. Okay, got it. So this would be Numi then.
Yes, I believe so.
And this would be mine. Yeah. So you can hear the distinction. Like, well, actually. Okay. I don't know why he's been barking more recently. Hold on. Yeah.
So breathy.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
I believe that there's the vocal paralysis bit, but there's a lot of singers who've made gigantic careers off of like Bonnie Tyler. I Need a Hero, right? That's a very unique vocal tone. So like, you know, whatever people have, it doesn't mean you can't do something with it. In fact, it usually makes them really distinct, which is a good thing commercially. But what I love is that in terms of tone quality, at least for me, this fact that Monii has a little bit more false fold adduction, whereas, and let me bring out Z anatomy. So Numi has a little bit of false fold abduction. Abduct to take away, adduct to add. You can think of it that way. I'll bring this out. And again, I don't know if it's intentional, but it does seem like they're using the fact that Monii's tone, because of this adduction, is going to have like a little bit more grit, a little bit more drama. And so they're kind of playing off one another and using that as almost like a musical development tool. So if I show Z anatomy here, these are the false folds. Okay? I talk about vocal abduction quite a lot in the lessons. Oh, it's often used many words to say a simple thing. What makes Numi's tone really interesting is that genres that have vocal fold abduction or false fold abduction generally have a lot of vocal closure. So like big band jazz, opera, right? But I can also do this, right? Mm-hmm. Usually when you hear breathy tones, you're hearing like a more neutral false fold position. So if I'm talking here, this is more neutral false folds. So if I'm talking like this, that's a little bit more ordinary. But you see how much more audible that is in a way, right? With the abduction on that breathy tone, you get a lot of like etherealness. Meanwhile, with Monii, if you talk like this, and it's funny, your speaking voice almost sounds like I don't know what this beef is about, right? There's that quality. Yeah. There was that exact quality. So even though the breathiness is there, you can hear the distinction in the tone pretty clearly if you're paying attention for that. So give it a listen again, y'all, and check it out. Monii. Numi. Now that I've pointed it out, you're never going to confuse the two again. I believe that's them together right here. Yeah. Oh God, especially when they pan, right?
Yeah.
That's a real nice tone. That's a great blend. There's a lot of ear candy in that. In the last one.
Yeah. The sound design. I actually wonder if that ear candy is supposed to be set up for the same type of ear candy in King of the World, because that song would be after this in the track list.
That would make
Like
sense.
in the progression of the instrumentation,
Yeah.
potentially setting that up.
Imagine in 2026 actually using an album as a format for progression. That's
It's coming back. People
I'm
are
happy
into that,
about
I
that.
think.
I'm happy about that. It should. It's a lost thing. I mean, yeah, it's dope. The vocal blend there, the quality is really cool. Fuck yeah, Monii.
God, there was so much in that last song that I just didn't pick up on. I'll have to listen to this over and over again.
Yeah, this is
Absorb
like
everything.
Yeah, same.
To the line, what's wrong, what's right, deciding who decides. Do you think you're justified? Pick a fences.
So just right off the bat, like way less reverb, way less stuff.
Yeah, this is more intimate for
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
cool
You hear that?
harmonic motion.
Yeah, and listen to how every now and then I was actually debating pausing the last bit in the last video to point out that there are moments when Monii goes very nasal on purpose and just like just drops the soft palate, right? Not droop, which she usually does, but like and does so very quickly for dramatic effect. So on the word lines.
Do you think you're justified? Pick a fences, pick a line. Where were you
Lines, right?
when the
Super
road was
nasal.
washed and secretly you hate your neighbor that you promised to love him? Did you pay it no mind? Is that what you call sacrifice? There's no hate like Southern love and the preacher mental congregations all
Little Southern inflection on the delivery there.
Yeah.
sitting in the pews unopened. You're eating blood and flesh and everybody knows it. There's no hate like Southern love and there's no hate like Southern love and there's no hate like yeah. Say did he tell you that when you pray and you beg and suddenly hearing answered anymore?
I love the alliteration is really nice.
You pray and you beg and
Suddenly he ain't answering anymore. Like you get so much of that aesthetic from that vowel.
suddenly hearing answered anymore. There's no way like that. There's no way like Southern loving.
It is so fun too that for all her use of aspirates, to not use on the word hate is a lot of fun too.
To when you were younger, would you still be a mother? A swinging body and I mean a few types. The ones who couldn't take it, they'll set up for a fake crime. They'll burn in hell, ain't that right? Shouldn't have been there that night.
One of the things that like I'm starting to appreciate, and this was a heck of a statement that 16 Mono made. He said like Monii can write circles around me, which is kind of a crazy statement. like 16 Mono not
Well,
bad.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, listening to this,
I'm picking up what he's putting down. I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, yeah, I long for a deeper skill set in songwriting, if only to appreciate the levels. Because, God, I wish I could express and communicate why, specifically, like, what's going on that makes this so damn compelling. Because I can talk about the vocals, can talk about some of the wordplay, not as well as many, but
Hmm.
like the combination. Songwriting is a really unique skill in that there's a kind of a smorgasbord of skill sets you need to bring it all together. And that balancing act is extraordinarily like
Yeah.
nuanced.
I mean, it's really clear to me that at least on like this song in specific, just because we're listening to it right now, she has a
Mhm.
lot to say about what she's talking about.
Yeah,
And it's very there's this very like I told you so conversation, like conversational aspect to it that I think serves the song extremely well.
yeah. I cannot wait for Tuesday now. Like I'm really excited because I have so many questions about the meaning behind each and every track here.
There's no hate like Southern love, and there's no hate like Southern love, and there's some hate
Yeah, this like ironic
like
delivery
Southern
here.
love, and there's so much. And just like Southern loving, say that it's all you know when you pray and you beg, and suddenly he ain't answering anymore. There's no way, there's no way like that. There's no way like Southern loving. Say that it's all you know when you're sharing a check. Thought that they had your back, but now you're digging for dime. There's no way like that. There's no way like Southern loving. And really, I've tried 1,000 times to make you see through all the prophets' lines and every lie. So where does the profit lie? It's in your mind. Reject the sin and stay in line. And when you die, will you be shrouded all in white? While his hands guide you, lest and you fantasize every night, living for the day you die. And then you realize that you wasted all your goddamn time. Say that it's all you know when you pray and you beg, and suddenly he ain't answering anymore. There's no way like that. There's no way like Southern loving. Say that it's all you know when you're sharing a check. Thought that they had your back, but now you're digging for dime. There's no way like that. There's no way like Southern loving. When I was little, my mom used to read me a Bible verse every night. And I would
Yeah,
sing
this
in that
song's
old church on the corner of the
really
dirt road
powerful.
every Sunday. And looking back, I can't imagine how we took those principles that were so well-intentioned and twisted them into a knife to stab our fellow humans with. Whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen. 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. Amen.
Well,
Oh
damn.
my god.
Now I'm
Ugh.
upset that we didn't listen to it in order because, yeah.
Fighting a war with you, right door. Open the door, open.
Well, I don't mind going reverse and then going straight into it.
Yeah, me neither.
That actually gives me a lot more perspective. Actually, let me real quick.
Mhm.
Let me message her and ask for the lyrics. I know they're in the videos, but like, yeah, like one of the reasons I'm trying to learn lyricism after the diss track stuff is because like a lot of my dissatisfaction with the first delivery of the rap came from just an unwillingness to be a bit more considerate, I think, of Bajiru's writing. And in hindsight, I'm kind of a little upset at myself for that. Like I just did it all through character work, right? But because of that, I didn't get to the word plays. I didn't understand the lyrical wordplay. I didn't understand the medium of lyricism. I delivered it as a character just fine, but I don't think I did justice to the piece of work that Baji did. So, if you're doing a cover of like Monii's music and you're not super comfortable with lyrical ideas, you won't do justice to the piece, right? So as singers, even if we are more in the realm of like execution of things that are written for us, right? Because not every singer has to be a singer-songwriter, not every singer has to be a composer. It's fine to be focused on the execution bits, but a big part of executing well is understanding the perspective of the author, of the writer, of the composer, right? Like, so yeah, this is why I say you're never done, and this is why in so much of my lessons, like, I'll work with a person on their weakness. Sometimes that's technical, but sometimes it has to do with lyricism or acting or musicianship, right? So yeah. Just to continue this point, like Numi stated in her stream when she was talking to Michi, possibly just to be nicer, like as a passing thought about the idea of taking lessons. And I thought to myself, like, what would I do? And I'm thinking, like, what would I do with Monii if I don't appreciate, even as an educator, where these people are coming from as artists? I might detract from some of the decision making that they have in favor of something like ergonomics, right? So I need to appreciate, like, with for example, with Monii, this false fold adduction thing is not ergonomic. However, she's using it for a purpose, right? So I have to respect that and give her tools accordingly. Like if she has a problem, I can't solve it by taking away the tools that she uses to express herself already. She's an existing artist, an established artist. Trying to take away her toolkit or blunt her tools would be a detriment to someone who's trying to have a career and has a career. Like that's a really bad thing to do to a singer. And it happens
that makes sense.
often. So I don't want to do that to these people I respect so much. Anyway. I try to always think of React content as paid research for the actual shit. Because you are kind of like, otherwise you're preparing, like if you're going to prepare a lot, you could do a video essay. There are formats that are better for communicating certain ideas, right? And thoroughness of thoughts. React content is not necessarily the medium for that, but React content is still, easy to make and easy to put out. It doesn't mean it has to be vapid though, right? So yeah. But like, that's how I see React content is like research. And ideally I like interviews a lot because I really love talking to people. Like I have a very deep fondness for people. So yeah, like but man, like given that this is not like, it was easier for Riku because I talked to him for such a while before I ended up interviewing him. And the it does. I mean, the interviews always go better when I have a lot of respect for someone's work in advance. But I'm going to have to make a lot of presumptions on this one. Because I didn't get to. We were so busy coordinating with the diss track. I didn't really get to ask much about this, and I kind of regret not. Well, I guess it wasn't released yet, so I couldn't have.
No, yeah. So like this is super fresh for me as well. So I mean, I genuinely only had the context of the 2 songs that are at the beginning of the track list that have already been released, and then the one that I worked on, but I didn't understand the full arc of the entire project, like in any way.
I gotta ask, do you feel like the lyricism here has leveled up from her previous works? You'd think with an artist as tremendous as Monii that there's always the act of improvement, and it could be that
I think for sure it's admittedly not typically my primary focus. At least historically, when I've listened to music, like it is important to me, and I do pick up on it, but I don't know if I've necessarily thought about the improvement of someone's lyricism as I mean, obviously it's there. Yeah, it's just not something that I've put thought into.
I liked what Captain Kujira just said. The next song talks about getting high.
Yep.
So like, yeah, the idea of a belladonna and then high. Jeez.
The silence is loud. You're laying that sound. Just sleep. I think I'll just get
That's fair, Kabi, yeah.
Don't tell me again.
Because it's personal, it's going to have a lot more punch.
If I just do one more night of this and go home, no other way. See you later. There ain't no better place. I'm on top of the world when I'm high.
Yeah, but at what cost, Monii? At what cost?
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder to myself if I would have done anything differently if I understood the context of the song that came before this one in the track list.
I think I'll forget it.
I'd like to think that I would, but I'm not sure. Like she's indulging and everything's falling apart.
The freaking Riku made a joke on Twitter, and I was like, "What's like, man? What is in the water?" And he said, "Like, what is in the water in this community that just energizes it with this much creative juice?" And his response, very eloquently, was estrogen and meth.
Yes, I
There's
did
a-
see this.
There's a lot of estrogen and meth in this, which is to say that damn, it's really good. And listening to it in order, definitely changes a lot.
Yeah. Oh my
so-
gosh.
Yeah.
Captain Kajira said that the voice cuts feel like her trying to hold on to me. I appreciate you saying that. I just, yeah, I did my best to capture the feeling that, you know, as I understood it, but I'm just glad that it resonates with people. I'm glad that it's not totally alien to the actual intention, like, of
Yeah.
the song where it sits in the track list and with the context of everything that surrounds it. I'm glad it still works in that context as well.
So we obviously have play on things that are like lion fences are in a lion, picket fences, picket lines. Fun wordplay.
Yeah.
Oh God, double meanings. The word smithery. Usually I like prose because I can establish meaning as I go.
Yeah.
But the use of like this is so, even if I had an opportunity to like expand on this, I don't know if I would. You know what I mean? Like this is so succinct.
Yeah.
Like this is why like everyone wants me to familiarize myself with the names of so many different artists in this space. But shit, man, like just because somebody has numbers doesn't mean like I should learn their work. I don't want to be reductive to somebody's CCV, for God's sakes. Like this is the stuff that is interesting. This is the stuff that makes me remember and think about a person beyond like who they know or how many numbers they bring in.
Yeah.
Moments like this. This is so well done.
This is a really special project. I mean, I figured it was going to be. I guess I just didn't realize how special it actually is.
It's really profound. And then the use of picket fences and the thematically it goes into the next line, your neighbor. Like
Yeah.
I have so much to learn and so little time to learn it in.
Well, I think so long as you take everything in, there's no rush, right?
Depends.
You think so?
Yeah, I'll explain to you on a DM. But smudging, right? This is something that my prose often lacks as well, because my prose is usually just like a stream of consciousness, where you can take this concept like of like lines, right? Smudge, and these double meanings of picket fences and neighbor. Like you can pick concepts and then use imagery and metaphor to communicate and discuss these concepts, and do development that way. And now, what's crazy interesting to me is that the more tangible idea is presented first, just like line, fence, and then to play on that with neighbor and the more. That's usually in songwriting. It's usually the other way around, where you don't bring the more obvious and approachable first. You usually obfuscate first, and then get specific as you go. So this is interesting to me.
I've always been a fan of very literal songwriting and saying exactly what I mean and not really leaving too much to the imagination. But then to go further, like to do that, but then further explore it with those inquisitive types of follow-up lines, I think is really, really cool. I definitely want to think about doing that more in my work as well.
I agree. I relate to this more. Something that Riku said when we were discussing the Music Box of Fate lyrics is that it's so funny that I definitely found myself emotionally most attached to the anvil drop moment, because opera, by the way, I don't know if you know, not subtle. So like the anvil drop moment, I was like, I love this. He's like, this is actually where I started. And I was like, oh, no wonder. And this is what 16 Amano said about his lyricism, was that it's so literal. And I agree. But as I work more, like, yeah, just doing the work on Baji's lyrics and coming back to her and be like, did I do this right? How did I do here? And she was like, this meaning was lost here and all that stuff. Like, just that work. I had a jazz guitar teacher who I wanted to learn the theory behind everything so I could just like improv and do whatever. And he's like, just learn 50 standards, dude. Just learn it and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Just build the vocabulary.
Yeah. One might say vibe it, or at least like prepare yourself to be in a situation where your understanding is so rich and nuanced, instead of just latching onto these literal ideas. Like the playing around with these concepts will enrich your understanding such that you can draw and play and grab from things very readily. But that requires a certain amount of reps, but also variations on the reps. Yeah. Like,
I think it's very important to be able to listen to something and understand, I guess, be able to analyze it.
I agree with that.
The context of your experience, but I think it's equally as important to be able to derive your own meaning. And if you are able to derive your own meaning, that's only because the songwriter allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
In the way that the song was constructed. So I think in that sense it goes both ways.
Yeah. It's that's poignant. Collaborative work is, for this reason, I find incredibly gratifying. Yeah. This is really good, Monii.
Yeah.